going live. Otherwise, people are going to get restless. Oh, Jeff's joining? Awesome. George, got him. Anthony.
I hadn't heard from Anthony, but originally he knew about this meeting, so I'm just hoping.
He had to bike back from Stony Creek this evening.
Oh, so he may not even be home yet.
And is that G-O-R?
That's George. Yeah, that's George.
He just gave me a Gmail address, which I'm using instead.
Oh, okay. Even better. Hi, George.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well, thank you.
Wonderful.
So if you're looking to join the Hangout, you need to send... Oh, there's Tim. Well, we already have 10 people signed up, right? But we probably won't get all of these people.
Yes.
Is Jeff confirmed?
I had emailed him earlier, and I thought he was going to be available.
Ali was here. I just saw Ali was watching.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, Robin.
Tina.
Hi.
Okay.
What's that? Is that a head beside you, Tina?
She wants to say hello.
Who is it? Is that your daughter? Awesome.
She hide.
Does she speak Chinese?
Yes.
But English also?
Okay.
Ni
Yes.
hao. What's her name?
Audrey.
Ni hao, Audrey.
I probably need to unplug the headphones so she...
Oh, she can't hear.
She wants to join our poly group on Mumble. I always hear her. Okay, so who are we missing?
I added Tim Waldorf. I invited him.
Okay.
We don't have 10 yet. So we're not at 10. If anybody in the Hangout wants to get on the waiting list, you're welcome to send us your email address.
Just want to make sure Charlie and Tim received invites. If they wanted to stay in the chat, that's fine, but I just want to make sure they received them.
We can ask them, because I did send them. George is already here. Don't see Tim out there anymore. Is Tim one of the people who said he had to go? Is Tim here even tonight?
Tim was here, yes. There's someone that sent an email. Yes.
All right. Since I'm not facilitating the meeting, how about if there's anybody out there watching who would like to join, what you have to do is post your email address in the chat at meditation.sirimangalo.org, or we just got a whole bunch of subscriptions. That's funny. Or in the comments to this video. I'll monitor that as well. I'll monitor the comments. Robin, you can start the meeting. You don't have to worry about this. That way you can start the meeting, and I'll monitor people sending us their email address. How about that?
Sure. And I think Jimmy wanted to send his email address. So if you can just put that in the chat, Jimmy. And I'm so sorry we're starting late. This was new for me, so we'll get this worked out so there's not this long delay next time around. And hopefully we'll even have a different platform next time around so we can all kind of be in the same room. That would be a little more ideal. But thank you very, very much for coming. As you probably all know, Bhante went yesterday and signed a lease. Or was it today?
Today.
Today. Bhante went today and signed a lease on the new monastery, which is super exciting. It wasn't expected to take place until January, but a suitable place popped up at a good price, and everything is done now. So the monastery has actually been leased. There's a picture of it on the Facebook volunteer group. There's a picture of it. It's a little brick house, very cute, and high hopes for it to become a great monastery and meditation center. So there's a lot of different things that will be needed to sustain this, and different areas. We need lots of help. So I just want to go through kind of some of them, and nobody needs to jump on this right away. Take your time, think about it, send an email or put a comment in the Facebook group tomorrow if you want to think about it overnight. But one of the things we need to do, Bhante, actually you get the first assignment to make a new video for the You Caring campaign, because we have our online campaign, and this is done very well. It's solicited over $4,000 in donations in the first 2 weeks, which is very good. But at this point, it would need an update because it's talking about a monastery opening in January, and it's actually already leased, so we want to get that updated. There is also a consideration of making sure that Sirimangalo International is considered a registered charity or nonprofit organization. Having that status can qualify you for certain benefits for Canadian subscribers. It would give them tax deductions and so forth, so that might be a good thing. However, Jeff, I had emailed with Jeff earlier, and he said there's also some considerations. As a registered charity, you may have to actually submit to an audit, which can cost money. So that's something that Jeff and I are going to kind of look into. But I just wanted to mention it. If by chance anyone listening is familiar with that type of thing, with procuring nonprofit status or registered charity status, or anything along those lines, and is willing to give us a little help and guidance, that would be
Some
great.
of it is just going to be researching on the internet, so it's something you don't have to have, you just have to have good Google skills, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
But becoming a charity is probably, in the long run, something we have to look at. I don't think it's a big issue if we're just dealing with, small projects, but if we start getting, more bigger stuff, then you have to become a charity. And if people, as you say, want, people can claim it for tax purposes. And they were saying when we did this in Manitoba, we had some fairly wealthy individuals, and they were fully willing to give without getting a receipt. But if they got a receipt, they could donate twice as much.
Yes.
Without, it's not that they were greedy or that they would only donate if they could get money back, but it was whatever they could donate without getting a receipt, they could donate twice as much getting a receipt.
Absolutely. So Jeff and I will look into that, and we'll provide some information for the next meeting as to what we found out about that. So besides those kind of status things, there's also help needed of a technical nature. The Bhante's website, sirimangalo.org, he's looking for someone with experience, that can show their experience to
It's
kind
not
of...
my website. My website is the one, it's actually not even a part of it anymore. I only claim semi-ownership of my weblog. The rest is ours. It belongs to the organization.
So the website that belongs to the organization could use a little bit of updating. It's a good website, but it doesn't provide, from the user end, an easy way to become involved in the organization and to see the different ways that you can follow Bhante's teachings and the different sort of archives. If you've been, learning from Bhante for a while, you know that he kind of jumps around from project to project, and finding out where he is and where he's teaching at any given time is a little bit of a challenge. So if the website sort of showed different active projects as well as the archives and links to all the great resources, that would be wonderful. So if there's someone who has that sort of technical ability, let us know.
A problem with that is we can't just trust anyone with the keys to the ship.
Right.
So let us know. But people have already contacted with experience, and I should just part of it I said was just looking into these people. Give us some reference. Do you work for a company? I think one guy does this for a living, so probably we can at least find out who they are, and they're not just a nameless or a faceless name.
So basically, introduce yourself, start talking. And I mean, not right at the moment, but just correspond and let us know what your capabilities are and how we can check into that, and it would be wonderful to have that help. There's also a need for someone to be a curator of sorts for some of the different collections. On static.sirimangalo.org, there's a huge collection of Dhamma talks. It's enormous. And the way they're labeled, it gives the date of the talk, which is of limited use to someone who's maybe looking for a particular talk to listen to. So someone, who has the time and patience to go through and listen to the talks and name them, give them a label, that would help. And I think did you say you had some sort of software that would assist with that, Bhante?
No, but someone could if you could make us a PHP interface that allows you to, a PHP interface that uses, it's called Get ID3, I think, that allows you to change the ID3 tag, the MP3 tags, which is like the metadata. If anyone knows anything about that, I've done it before, but I'm not going to be able to do these things very much anymore. I'm getting busy with everything.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point. If people don't know, Bhante is returning to university in September, which is I think your start date is less than 2 weeks away, right? Just about 2 weeks away. So we're definitely trying to take some of the, the load off you as far as the organization and helping out with it.
If you look at the audio page, actually does have names for all of them, because I used to do this. I would just from the command line. So what is it that we need? The audio all has names to it. Each file has a name, right? Old ones don't, but the rest do.
Well, even the newer ones, the ones under, I misspoke when I said static, the ones under live.sirimangalo.org.
Oh, the live ones, that's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, all the live ones, yeah, they just have just a date.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put all those links in the Facebook group just so, we'll have all those. But that's something, someone that has some patience and is interested in listening to some Dhamma talks, that would be great. There's also some items which are needed, which I'll publicize again on the Facebook page and through an email. But just to give you an idea, for example, Bhante's sandals broke yesterday, and what did you say? You just want to go barefoot for a while, but
I'm just going to go barefoot. What's wrong with that?
I think that possibly, that's something that someone may be interested in sending you. So there is a wish list. Do you have an Amazon wish list?
Yeah, but see, the thing is, it's going to be winter soon, and I've got shoes. But then I was thinking that I'm probably going to be visiting Florida over the Christmas holiday, and so I will need sandals eventually.
So if you don't mind, if you would, put something like that on your Amazon wish list, and I'll post your Amazon wish list so that more people know about it. And in the event someone would like to send you a pair of sandals in the right size.
See, I've got a bit of a problem. It was, on the one hand, it was a bit, you know, a bit maybe rash, to, where's the hang up? Okay, to do this in September, because the one big thing is that being here in Stony Creek, at least they feed me. At least there's food. And I just realized that's the one thing that I wasn't considering. Oh yeah, right, I've got to eat every day.
Well, you can go back on the weekends, right?
Yeah, the weekends. That's what I would. One part of the solution
Yeah.
is to pig out on Saturday and Sunday. No, to come back here on Saturday and Sunday and have food. But Monday to Friday, potentially Monday morning, I could take food with me. But yeah, so it cuts it down to 4 days a week.
So Monday through Friday, we would like to fix you up with.
I don't want to be worrying about things like sandals or something, but if anyone wants to support and appreciates this, well, keep the monk alive.
Yes, the only thing we need from you is to put something on your wish list, because otherwise we don't have any idea of your size and what would be suitable.
I'm saying don't worry about sandals. Food is more important.
Well, there might be someone who wants to send sandals and someone else who wants to send food. So just put it on the list, and we'll see if someone is interested in sending that to you.
You know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to edit this. I'm not even logged in because I'm signed in as the wrong person now. Yeah.
What are you editing?
My weblog.
Oh.
Because the wish list, the meta wish list, is on the weblog.
Okay.
Because it also talks about Subway. I'm thinking of maybe just expanding that. If this is something that people would like to do to support what I do, then Subway may not be the best answer. And I've got lots and lots of Subway cards already. But so it's cool. I'm using, it is good food, I think, personally. But maybe branching out would be also good. So
yes.
The other options are Tim Hortons, which does oatmeal, which is great.
Yes.
And
Pita Pit.
Both of which offer cards, right?
Yes.
Oh, you know what I got today? This is really, I have to show you just for fun. I don't know who sent it to me because the head monk got it and opened it up. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he wanted the card. Maybe I have to give him a card as well. But look at this. It's kind of crass, actually. You see that?
Oh, they put your personalized picture on it.
Yeah.
See, I thought that was a great idea for, I thought that was a great idea for one reason. Just to back up a little bit, for anyone who doesn't happen to be familiar with it, there are many, many rules regarding monks eating and not being able to hold food overnight, not being able to buy food, not being able to use money to buy food. Many, many, many rules. So one of the few options that Bhante will have once he moves away from Wat Khmer Krom is to use food gift cards, which are donated by contributors, because that doesn't involve handling money. It doesn't involve keeping food in your home overnight. So it's one of the few options that will be available that would not lead to breaking any rules and would still feed a monk.
One way of looking at it is like, if a monk were to keep food and so on, they couldn't live as a monk. It would be more difficult. Like, everyone has livelihood. They do some work, and people support that work. People who want that work to happen support it. Now, the problem comes when money's involved. It leads to freedom. Freedom in the sense of being able to do things, and not just being able to, but it leads to busyness, right? Having to concern yourself about budgets and so on and so on. It leads to complexity. And so all of that is the problem that was to be avoided by not using money, but yet there is still this sense that, well, in order to do some work, there has to be support for it. Otherwise, the work has to stop. So the point of not storing, not cooking, etc., is to direct, go by the support, if you have the support to do it. Or you know, if you're going to do the work, you need the support to do the work. If I had to rely on food in the fridge or so on, you know, it wouldn't be. Um, I don't know. There wouldn't. It's not. It's moving away from the support network. So that's
Yes.
what it's all about. So it has to happen, really. If not, then I'll have to come back here. But now this is the thing. We've kind of committed ourselves, so that's fine. I've gone without food. Going without food once a week, twice a week, no problem.
Well,
Just means probably less coherent, even more rambling, less cohesion to the teaching.
well, hopefully we can avoid all that by organizing. You have a lot of people who
Yeah,
listen to you, who follow you,
which is
and who
awesome.
learn from you. So,
Yeah.
I think I think a small group can organize those people and put the information out there so that people who want to support you in that way can. You've had Ask a Monk for many years, and now we will have our Feed a Monk program.
Hmm.
And so the first card that people began sending Bhante was Subway, but there are some concerns for people who don't like to promote the selling of meat and so forth. So I looked into a couple of other ones, and Pita Pit is a good company that has a lot of nice hearty vegetarian options. So those would be healthy and wouldn't create those concerns. And Pita Pit has a nice e-gift program, which is very easy to use. I checked it today. International credit cards, debit cards are not a problem. You just go to the Pita Pit site and you can send a gift to anyone. You just need their email, which for Bhante is yutadamo@gmail.com. So that's the only information you would need, and it goes right to his email and very simple to use. One other is Tim Horton. There's a Tim Horton right down the street, and that has a pretty nice breakfast selection with oatmeal and some fairly healthy options. So for breakfast, that might be a good one. So I'll put all this information into Facebook so that everyone has all the links. But those were some of the things. Another thing is transportation. There's Bhante will use a card called a Presto card, and this is a card to get back and forth from the new monastery to the old monastery on the weekends. So that's something that can be loaded by people from afar, and I'll put the information. I think we actually need your card number to be able to load that, Bhante.
So if I
So
put my card number on the wish list, people could also help with that if they wanted to. I mean, so far the
that's
organization has just been filling it up whenever need. My father also filled it up once because I use it to go visit him sometimes.
mhm. I, if
But that's
I mean,
enough.
if
If the number goes on the web, then people can fill it up.
that was my understanding, I'll check it out, and if that's not the case, then I'll leave it off
Hmm.
the information. But if it is as simple as just having your card number and being able to apply support to it, I mean, that's
I
just
think so
another
because my
option.
father did it and Anthony did it, so
Yeah,
I mean that's useful. I don't
definitely.
know how much I'm going to be using that. See, I think going to McMaster gives you a local transit pass. Because I'm a full-time student, I think I'm paying for it. So my student card is going to become my bus card, I think.
Oh, okay.
It was that way 15 years ago anyway, or whenever I went to McMaster 10 years ago.
Okay, so I'll hold off on that until you find out for sure whether that's all
Yeah,
covered.
in that case, the only reason, I mean, I do use it if I'm going to Toronto for various things, but mostly use it to go see my father, much. And
Okay.
so it's a support if you want to be kind and help me go to visit my father. It's just not directly related to the organization. Um,
And Charlie posted the meal card at McMaster, and that's a good idea too. But I think if I
very
remember correctly, you said it was very high priced.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's changed, but it doesn't change. I mean, they overprice things because they force you to get a meal ticket, a meal card if you're on. It's for residents, people who are in residence.
Yeah. So, well, besides those, the other thing to consider is things that you might need for the Monastery Meditation Center. And I don't know if you've had a chance to think about that, Bhante, but
Sorry,
is there anything, just things that you might need for the Monastery Meditation Center?
a snow shovel.
Snow shovel. All right, I'm making a list.
We've got a corner lot. We're gonna be, we've got to figure that out. I need someone who's going to volunteer to shovel snow. I think someone from the university.
Yeah, if there's someone local, that would be awesome. But if there's not someone local, you need a snow shovel.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you'll have a few months before the snow starts, though.
It's not like Manitoulin Island or Winnipeg, so the snow here, it's not going to be heavy snow. And we don't have a driveway to blow.
That's good.
We could also, worst comes to worst, we could pay someone to do it. I don't know. It's not really worth it. I don't think it's a big deal. It's just that we've got the corner lot, so it's like all around both sides of the house, and they confirmed that it all is our business. It's quite a long stretch, actually.
And are there any other particular items that you'd, not necessarily things that you'd put on a wish list, maybe you would, but, also smaller things that I can put a list on the Facebook page?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll have to see once we move in, but there's never that much. I suppose it gets more complicated when we start to have people staying there, which we probably will right away, right? People can always come and do courses. Already someone has emailed me. If you've been contacting me trying to get to come and do a course, I apologize. I've just been overwhelmed lately. I'll get around to checking email, and if someone wants to come and do a course, they're welcome to. That's really the core of what we do.
And for everyone that's in the Hangout, did anyone want to say anything, offer any suggestions? I definitely don't mean to do all the talking here. Introduce yourselves. Say hi. Everybody looks muted.
I can see some little speech bubble. I'm not quite sure where it's coming from. The first speech bubble said, "Can you please tell us your shoe size?" And the second speech bubble said, "When is the best time to deliver food to the monastery?" 11 a.m. I'm not sure where those speech bubbles are coming from.
I believe it comes from the Hangouts chat itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Just saying I saw that come up.
Thank you.
Otherwise, I'm George. I'm a self-employed website developer interested to do some technical work or website development. It doesn't necessarily mean giving me keys to the ship, because I can provide the service, as raw code.
Well, what some people have done is send us a modified CSS file, which it's a bit different now with WordPress. WordPress has this customize interface now. It's really kind of awesome. But sorry, what could you do?
I could do just about anything with PHP. I mean, I was happy to provide, a few hours a week of technical solutions.
If you know anything about ID3 tags, there's a get ID3 library. If you could write something to allow, like that we could just pop into a or point to a directory and have it look at all the files in that directory and print out a web page that allowed you to input a name for each one and click change. That's all done in PHP. I've done it before, but...
So this is to look at all the MP3 files from the live talks, find their name from the ID tag, and show it in some nice format.
No, the problem is there's no ID3 tag yet. Find the name from the audio, and actually probably for the newer ones, you're going to find the name from the YouTube video. But you don't have to do that. What you have to do is provide an interface that allows people to add an ID3 tag using the PHP library, the get ID3 library.
Sure, that's doable.
Yeah, it's just designing an interface, whatever, and figuring out the commands, the functions that get ID3 uses.
George, what time is it where you are?
It's 3:30. I was gonna sleep before I came to this, then I decided just to stay awake.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's
That's
awesome.
okay. I've been a follower of the videos for quite some time, just never got involved. I thought this was the opportunity to offer something.
Thank you very much for staying up late.
It's nothing.
Okay, I figured out how to log in to log in as. Here's what you do, Robin. See, I'm logged in as 2 people. You know how I do it?
How?
Chrome, Firefox.
Oh, okay. I had every problem starting this Hangout.
Well, you know
I-
what I had to do in the end? I had to go to Google Plus and specifically click on sign out first. Can't switch usernames. That doesn't work. Sign out of Google Plus first,
Oh, okay.
and then sign into Google Plus all over again as the new
Okay.
user. And that worked quite easily. But you managed to eventually do it as well, right?
I did, but then I saw a name that I didn't recognize, which I realize now was someone who was in the meditation group T. But I didn't recognize that, so I thought that that was something completely unrelated. So does anyone else have any general ideas on things that, as a volunteer group, that we can put together to help support this new monastery and meditation center? I think we're off to a pretty good start. So I will put everything together, kind of a summary tomorrow for the Facebook page, and there is also an email group that's being put together just for people who don't use Facebook and so forth. So between both of those, we'll try to get information out to more people and get the information on the different opportunities to support.
I could just say that sometimes I notice in the video Sir has just a random little request, maybe something on a server, maybe some little bit of code, maybe to cut some video. I'm comfortable to do all of those things. I could dedicate 2 or 3 hours a week, and it wouldn't mean giving me access to anything. Just I won't necessarily see that on the video. I could be emailed the request or the Facebook.
There was the audio, that audio thing. People were trying to take the static out of this audio.
Mm.
I ended up putting it on Dropbox. But really what I need there is someone who's willing to do, or maybe a bunch of people even, are willing to do grunt work. Because the audio is fine, but as soon as I stop talking, the static suddenly comes up. So it's some kind of filter or something, I don't know. And if you were to just silence those just take in an audio program, just reduce the volume to basically 0 on those inner spots. But there's like 100 of them that you'd have to go through. It's really grunt work.
Could give it a shot if I had the Dropbox link.
Right. Well, where's the Dropbox? I can just put it in the meditation chat, and anyone can take a crack at it. Don't
Hi,
overwhelm
Anthony.
people. A couple of people looked at it, but what they were doing is just applying filters, which, yeah, it's what I would do, but it's not the best solution. I mean, it would work, and I could do that, but okay, it's 3 files. I mean, can I just share a folder?
Maybe Google Drive or Dropbox, right?
Dropbox public. Yeah, I can just share this folder. And bonus, it's also got a not entirely kosher archive of Buddhist texts, in case you're interested. But don't tell anyone, and don't put that on the internet.
Yes, sir.
So, where is the meditation group? Oh, I've lost the meditation group. Okay, here's the Dropbox folder. So if you see the meditation.sirimangalo.org, I just put the link up.
Uh-huh.
And that should let you in. You should see 3 WAV files, which are the raw from the pulled directly from the video. You'll also see a random zip file there, and please don't ask me what it does, but if anyone's interested in Buddhist texts, you might want to check it out. Who knows what's inside?
I just wanted to answer. Tina had asked about having meals delivered to the monastery and what's the best time to do that. That was something that was done where Bhante is now, but moving over to the new monastery and with the class schedule, that's probably not going to be the most convenient thing because he will be at classes. So that's why we thought the food cards, sending a food card, that way it can work with his class schedule as well.
It's not going to be around at 11.
Yeah, that's not going to be a time you'll be there. And also, I think when you were having that done, wasn't it a little bit chaotic with places that didn't necessarily deliver at the right time and
No, having food delivered from restaurants all around, not. I mean, compared to gift cards, I mean, it's night and day, the difference.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it's kind of nicer because you're actually the one choosing the food and you get to feel like you're giving food. But, yeah, it doesn't really work in this situation.
Yeah, with the class schedule, you'll probably rarely be there at that time.
Unless there's like, if Tim Hortons were to deliver at 7 a.m.
I don't think they do, though.
Subway is open at 7 a.m. on weekdays, aren't they? Does Subway deliver? I don't know. Probably not. Pita Pit delivers.
I did. Oh, okay. I didn't see that in their information, but maybe I missed it.
Yeah,
Do you
Pita Pit
know?
delivers. We
they?
got that at the monastery while I'm staying there.
Oh,
I'm pretty
neat.
sure. I think we got it one day.
Okay.
If my memory is correct.
Bhante, do you know your class schedule? Are there days that you would be home at that time, or are your classes in the morning pretty much?
There may be one day. I think there's one day where I only have an afternoon class. So yeah, one day a week.
Hi, Anthony.
Stephanie Watson, person who owns the Pita Pit. Okay, wait, let's see. So what's, okay. Yeah, these are all delivery, you know? Jackson Square. King Street East, that's the one, right?
Yeah, the King Street one was a 7-minute walk from the new monastery, I believe.
10. Why don't I see that here? Oh yeah, 1056, delivery. Yeah, Stephanie Watson, owner. So that's something. If they, because they are open. Oh, they're open 9 a.m. Right? So not exactly.
So you know what that might be better for? I'm just going to take a guess. Is after October, when you're no longer going back to Wat Khmer Krom on the weekends. That might be a good weekend option, no?
Right. But weekends I can also probably go to the Thai restaurant. I mean, actually, see the thing, the sort of the backup plan was, what I said in the beginning. I said, oh, I'll just go to the Thai restaurant, but it's a little ways. Now, if I have a bus card, I can just take a bus there in the morning. My first class is never before 9:30, so. Oh, but see, 9:30 doesn't work either. No, because they don't open till 10.
So by the time you eat, you'll for the most part be at the university. But if you picked up something from Pita Pit on your way in, maybe bring it in and eat it at the right time or something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, 9 o'clock is early enough to get food. It's just not early enough to deliver it, I guess. Because if they open at 9, by the time they deliver it. Although if someone wanted to like order it and I pick it up, order a pickup, that kind of thing. The other thing is whether they do online credit card kind of thing, or whether it's or there's delivery and pay when you get it kind of thing. But I think they did.
Well, the Pita Pit, they had a nice interface for sending the e-gift cards, so probably we can check that out.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is any gift card is just a lot easier.
Yeah, that with your schedule of classes and the different restrictions you have, that might just be the most simplest, most streamlined way, at least for now, until.
Except some people like to actually offer the food, say this, this, and this.
So before you need a snow shovel, there might be some other things needed. Do you need a rake? Are there trees there?
Probably. I guess we need a rake. Maybe we have all this stuff. There's a shed out back that I haven't explored yet.
At the new place?
At the new place. There's a shed and there's a garage. Probably it has all this stuff.
You said you have enough meditation cushions other than the taller ones?
Right, we have enough meditation kind of mats, but I don't think we have any pillows or that belong to the organization. Got the sitting mats. I mean, the thick sitting cushions, about this thick.
The ones that are like a zafu, that type?
No.
That's too tall?
I don't know.
Well,
we don't use these fancy Western Buddhist names.
That's a fancy Japanese name, I think.
Yeah.
But something that's about this big but tall, is that taller like that?
I can't see your hands.
Oh, sorry.
You mean the ones that look like donuts without holes, or the ones that look like
yes, the ones that look like donuts without holes. Is that something that you might need? Okay.
It's not something I need.
No, not you, but to set up a proper meditation center where people who need a meditation cushion would feel comfortable.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, newcomers, especially if you're not used to sitting on the floor, it's quite difficult.
I think the flat mats that were just mats, they weren't like cushions, they were just like mats.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good to see you again. He came and did a full course with me.
Yeah?
We should get an interview with you. Ask how it's changed your life.
Maybe someday in the near future.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But I think the flat mats were a good like intermediary. Like I felt like the cushion might have been, I don't want to say too luxurious, but like I liked the flat ones because it was kind of like you're sitting on the floor, but it was still cushioned and padded,
But if you're sitting on the carpet, you can even put your feet off the mat. If you need a little bit of height.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I started back in my day, when we walked both ways uphill, the mats we used were a little bit of cotton, lumpy cotton in a square piece on the wood floor. It's true, and I mean that's even luxurious compared to what people were telling us at the time, back in their day. So what we would do is we'd improvise. You take blankets and put them under your legs or under your butt, and you'd work it out.
Definitely. But you probably also want to provide an option for someone who's not quite at that level, and because you'll have people coming in the evening to meditate as well, right? not necessarily the residential course, but just people coming in for an hour in the evening or so. So maybe not everyone's quite that flexible to feel comfortable. So I can certainly put it on the list and see if anyone wants to, see if anyone is interested in sending that in.
Okay.
Hi, Anthony. Is there any particular kind of help that you can use with what you're doing?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
What did you have in mind?
Really not sure. With this meeting here, we're just trying to assess what kind of help is needed for all different aspects of the organization. So before you got here, we were talking about improving the website, sirimangalo.org, different things that Bhante will need for going back to school, food items, and even talking about something that I think you're involved in, looking into the status of sirimangalo.org as a nonprofit or a charitable organization.
Oh, thank you for reminding me about that.
Yeah, we were just talking about it briefly. Jeff had mentioned that there are some concerns with if you become a registered charitable organization, sometimes you have to submit to an audit, which I guess the organization itself has to pay for. So that was one thing that I thought, maybe perhaps Jeff and I can help do a little research and help you, help to make a decision as to. Pardon?
Just because I'd appreciate it because I'm just not that familiar with this kind of
Yeah.
administrative stuff.
Yeah, I'm not either. I thought maybe, three heads are better than one. If if Jeff and I also.
Just me, I'm gonna mess it up.
Well, we can also do some research and maybe have a separate meeting to kind of, put all the information together and determine whether it's worthwhile for the organization. If having this status means that we have to pay, a lot of money for an audit every year to comply or whatever, that might not be worthwhile. But it might be. Maybe it's not as bad as it sounds.
Whether or not it's worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll look into some information that maybe set up a separate meeting to kind of go over all that and see if it's something to follow up on or something to just. Sure, be happy to. So is there anything that you can think of that in your time as a longtime volunteer here with the organization, anything that you can think of that we should put out there to say we need help with this, whatever this may be?
Maybe a local accountant.
A local accountant.
But I don't know, because the reason why Jeff is good is he's also a student. So I guess the overall mission is important to him as well. If we just find some accountant somewhere, we might not have that kind of connection.
Yeah.
And he wants that.
Well, what we can also do is, I can just put on the Facebook just asking if anyone's in the local area at all, because anyone who's local, I mean, their opportunities to help out are just, enormous. I mean, even talking about having somebody that might be able to stop by and shovel snow and things, or rake leaves, or whatever is needed. Yeah. So. So anything else, or shall we call it quits for now? I can't even imagine what time it is in your time zone, George. George, is it 5 there yet?
It's 4 a.m., so it's not quite 5.
4 a.m. Oh, okay. Oh, the other thing, Bhante had mentioned earlier the idea of having this meeting at 12 noon Eastern time instead of on Sunday nights is 12 noon Eastern, so like 9 a.m. your time, Tina. Is that a time that might be good for people?
I think it might. I think it might work better for me because I usually work nights, usually around like 2 to 11 ish on Sundays. So
So noon is good for you then?
yeah, it should be good. You know.
Okay, sure. How about you, Tina? You can type it in chat if you don't have your mic there. And Brenna and George and Anthony is 12 noon Eastern time.
12 noon on Sundays. Yeah, I can meet at that time.
Oh, awesome. Yes, Tina, that would be 9 a.m.
Absolutely.
9 a.m. Seattle time on Sunday. Yes. Okay, good. How about you, Brenna?
It's fine for me.
Awesome, awesome.
Should be okay.
That's awesome. I think for a couple of reasons. A lot of the the nicest and most interested people who emailed me were in Europe. So this will open up the opportunity to to have more people participate, and it's earlier, and we'll be more wide awake maybe. So beginning next week, Monte, do you want to switch this over to noon? Looks like everybody here is okay with a 12 noon start time. All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Anything else, or if not,
Sure.
we'll.
Do we have a moving date? Bante, do we have a moving date?
Well, I have to go back on the 1st. That's the official move-in date. And we do a walk around with the owners to make sure everything's in working condition. But Robin and her husband, or Robin
Yes.
at least, is
Yes.
planning on making a trip up to help move some stuff on the
On Labor Day weekend, September 5th and 6th. So we have a pretty big car, Subaru, and like a little trailer behind it, so we can move any bigger items, and do whatever you need.
Now I could also move some stuff on the 1st because I don't know how much there is, but with yeah, maybe it's better if we move some stuff on the 1st because we're going there anyway. Pack up a bunch of stuff. It's mostly just in this room, but there's in the basement. There's also some like a big backdrop for video and big lights that have to be packed up. Nothing too extravagant, but a bunch of stuff.
So it sounds like somewhere between the 1st and the 7th you'll be migrating over, and then after that. So I'll put that in the information as well, that your address will be changing as of September 1st.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have to get the address. We know the address. Just
Yeah.
to put the postal code with it.
Yep, I'll get that. Yeah, just so that if anyone is planning to send anything, they have the new address.
And we're, I guess this is, well, it's appropriate, but I guess bills are going to start coming, right? We're going to have hydro bills, gas bill,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to transfer the internet over, but hopefully we can just move it. Probably they have some kind of move fee or something. But Anthony, there's going to be a couple new bills that you have to take care of. Is that a burden?
No, they're the same as other bills in the past. It's just more of them. It only takes 5 minutes to pay each one.
Okay. So how do we do that? I'm going to have to send you the number. I mean, do bills come still in paper, or is it e-bills?
With the internet bills, those are coming to your email right now.
No, but I mean, I'm thinking hydro bill, gas bill. They're gonna come to the house, right?
I suppose so. Yeah, I've never actually had those myself.
Hmm.
With anything like that, usually you can designate a billing party and have it sent directly to the billing party.
Oh, okay. But that's.
Okay.
I wonder if we can do that with them, with the owners beforehand. I don't know how busy, how involved they want to get. But we could do that, right? We could do that ourselves.
Yeah, I would think you'd be starting up your own accounts when you move in. I wouldn't have anything to do with their accounts in case they had any back
But how does
balance.
that work? If they're gonna send us, they're just gonna send the bill. We don't have to do anything, right? The bill still comes to the house, or no?
Um,
Or do we have to
I would,
apply for hydro all over again? How does it work?
I, I would think you'd have to give your name.
Oh, yeah, I think that's what, because she said they're gonna call the hydro company and have the bill, and then she didn't complete the sentence. What that,
Okay.
call the hydro company. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I thought usually a landlord paid for the water, no?
For the what?
For water?
Well, it depends whether utilities are included. I don't know what water
Yeah,
is, but we're going to be paying for electricity and gas.
Is
Everything.
hydro electricity?
Yeah,
that's
no,
right.
we say hydro. That's our.
Oh yeah, you Canadians. I'm thinking hydro is the water
Yeah,
sewer.
I
It
don't
should
know
be.
about that. Hmm.
You'll definitely receive the gas and electric bill to the house, probably to occupier. Before they have your name, it'll just say the occupier,
Right. That
Oh.
sounds familiar.
and it'll just be simple as that. Maybe they'll send you the last person's bill, and you should say to them, "That's not our bill,"
Uh-huh.
and it'll start fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely don't need to pay for the old people,
And
the old residents'
there
bill.
was a $10 a month charge for something else. What was the $10 charge for? $10 a month is. She told me what it was.
Was that for water, maybe?
No.
Hmm.
Can't remember, but there's something we have to pay $10 a month for.
Who are we paying $10 a month to?
I can't remember now. She just mentioned it tonight. The brain, no? Why doesn't it work the way you want it to?
Yeah, it's late. Okay, so beginning next week we'll meet at noon. We'll be a little more awake.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, thank you all for this,
Yes.
because you guys are making this happen as much as I am.
So when are the owners going to Arizona?
Sorry?
Do we know when the owners are going to Arizona?
No, they haven't said. Actually, he's going to Arizona. She doesn't go to Arizona. So
Oh, right.
she's working at Eastgate Mall where we went to visit her. So she'll be there every day. So it's not as. I don't know that they're even together. She said something really interesting. I don't want to broadcast this, but anyway, yeah, better
Well,
not.
that's how these things are.
Yeah, I don't know if they're even together or not, husband and wife, but they weren't all that friendly to each other. But when you're married for that long, maybe that happens. You put aside niceties, right? You know each other so well that you don't worry about hurting others' feelings. But it was an odd dynamic anyway. What was the $10 for? I'll think of it probably before next week.
It'll come to you. Unless you can probably ask her again.
Yeah, just ask her what was that $10 for? No, I'll probably think of it tonight.
Maybe someone who comes to cut the grass.
That would be
No, but
nice.
it sounds like something it was like. It was like grass. What was it?
Pesticide?
No. Weird, huh?
Oh, well, thank everyone very much. And again, we'll meet next Sunday.
One thing that they did tell me is that the house was never on the market. They just put that for sale sign out just to see what would happen, because it was people were coming interested to rent the place, so they figured, well, why don't we put a for sale sign up as well, because lots of people are interested in the property. So they said, just why not? So now the sign is no longer there, and it was never on the market in the first place. It was never registered. So,
Oh,
How did
that's
we find
awesome.
out about the house?
sorry?
How did we find out about the house?
I mean, it's for rent. It's registered for rent, but they never put it up for sale officially, like on any listing. They put it up for rent, which is how we found out about it. Yeah, we got really lucky with this. I mean, it's really pretty much what we want. It would have been, of course, nicer if it was closer to McMaster, because more people would probably be enticed to come out daily. But apart from that, everything else is just perfect, I think. Maybe a bigger living room, but, how are you going to get that for what we are able to afford?
Did you mention your idea to them about knocking out a wall and making a bigger living room?
I didn't. In fact, I should have looked tonight to see what it would actually entail, but we were just in and out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Visit. But I will take a look and I'll scheme, and certainly will, maybe for next year, we'll ask. If we've been there a year, then maybe they would allow us. If we sign up for the second year, we're going to ask to renovate. Because again, that shouldn't be a bedroom. There's one bedroom that really, it's got patio doors on it, right? So it's the way to get to the backyard, so why make that a bedroom, right? Well, just because they wanted more bedrooms.
Yeah.
In fact, it may have once been part of the living room, right?
And they blocked it off to be a bedroom, sure. Yeah.
Maybe on the first I'll mention it to them, because they're very open, and I asked them about potentially having someone else come to stay there, like a steward, which is also something we should talk about. We should open it up. Hey, if anyone wants to come and live there, we do need someone who to come and live there. But that might be better suited for someone. Well, this year we don't have the opportunity, but for next year, whatever, someone who's going to McMaster who needs a place to stay, and then they could help, be a subletter and pay for their way. Would help the organization, right?
Sure.
I shouldn't be talking about such things for me to talk about.
No, but as you become involved in the Buddhism Society at McMaster's, that may put you in touch with someone who's looking for, a place to stay that's serious about meditation.
But still, the good thing, it's a great thing for me to have someone there with me. So if anyone would like to come and live there and can get the necessary visas to do it, or lives in Canada, then by all means, it'd be great to have someone, because that would mean they could store food, and would make the food situation a lot more feasible.
And in terms of the Dhamma in general, we wouldn't be able to ask them to pay part of the rent, would we?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. Could we or could we not? No, I mean, I just thought, like, if you're doing them a favor anyway, they wouldn't have to pay full rent that they'd pay elsewhere. But, someone who's going to McMaster who has to find a place to stay anyway. I don't know. I mean, how crass is it to have someone taking their rent money and using it to support the monastery instead? I don't know. Letting someone stay there free, I'm all for it, but I guess the point would be, if they're going full-time to school, they're not really involved with the monastery. It's different if someone's like ordained and living and doing some service for the monastery. But the idea would be to find someone who's interested in Buddhism, but who is going full-time to McMaster, so they can't really help out besides maybe with food, but was looking for a place to rent. I don't know. Whatever you guys think. I shouldn't have probably even said anything, but just
No, it makes
seems
sense
like
in
a
general.
answer of killing two
Find
birds with one
someone
stone kind of
that
thing. Oh,
conditions
that's
line
such an
up,
awful saying, isn't
Could you say that again, Anthony? It was a little hard to hear.
it? Anthony,
Oh,
you're very
sorry.
quiet.
I think my hand was on the mic. But
You're just very quiet.
just to reiterate what you were saying, if we find someone for whom the conditions line up, then it only makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the idea of asking, for some sort of a rental payment, it's sort of a donation as well, an offering to the monastery. And the most important,
Don't call it a donation if it's required. It's not a donation if you're requiring it. I mean, I suppose we wouldn't be necessarily requiring it, but
yeah. Well, I mean, just the bottom line is the most important thing will be to make sure that the monastery has the resources to keep going. So if that's something that would help, and there's no rule against it, it would seem to be a practical way to offset some of the expense. So shall we plan to meet again next Sunday at noon? And
Sure.
okay. Well, thank you everyone very much, and we'll see you all next week.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Cheers.
it looks like to top up the card you have to log in for Presto. Oh, is anyone here still? Everyone leave?
I'm still here.
Anthony, how did you do the Presto card thing? Do you remember?
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. Um,
Did I have to give you my
yeah,
username and password?
you gave me the login info.
Yeah, okay.
And there was some kind of complication where, like, I don't exactly remember. It was like your balance didn't exist until you first use it, something like that. You remember along those lines? Yeah, they said that the Presto thought that you had no balance until you used what we put on there.
Okay. Well, yeah, but it looks. I was just thinking someone could fill it without logging in, but it doesn't seem possible. So nope, that's not doable. Okay, I'm stopping the broadcast then. Good night. Most
All right.
people have left.
Good night.
Good night.
Nice to meet you, George. Good night.
You too, sir.